You're going to have to school us on something because I'm just going to give you the hot forecast. Here we are into August. We have those clear skies out there tonight. This coming from Manti. Thank you so much to Brad for sharing it with us. Really, you were hard pressed to find a cloud in the sky today. Drier air moved in, southwesterly flow, high pressure underneath that ridge. That was sunset tonight in Manti. We really see those numbers climb, and that's what happened. Satellite radar shows that southwesterly flow, very, very dry, quiet. And that was our Monday. Tuesday's going to be very similar, but it's going to be hotter. Sunset video coming from our Black Desert Sky Cam. This one coming from Ivins. At last check, they were 102 for that high. St. George did make it to 100 degrees, but it was a bit of a struggle. 90s along the Wasatch Front, 96 in Salt Lake. Our average this time of year is 91. We were above that, 90s on the eastern side of the state. As we take a look at those temperatures heading into tonight, still very mild as we sit in the upper 70s once we close out the newscast with quiet, dry conditions. 70 for that low. Along the Wasatch Front, we'll see low 70s. Climbing back up quickly as we head into tomorrow. High pressure sinking air subsidence, and it's really going to pack a punch when it comes to the heat. We're going to be above average tomorrow, and look at our heat risk. Any place you see red on this map, well, that means that we've got moderate to major heat impacts, and that's because the temperatures are going to make a run for 100 degrees in Salt Lake. We'll be flirting with records for the next 2 days. Peak heating for the Wasatch Front will be the midweek, coming in hot on Wednesday. Look at the heat risk, the lot more red along the Wasatch Front into the West Desert on the eastern side of the state. That's health impacts for everybody without cooling. So you're going to want to keep cool as we roll into our Wednesday. On top of being extremely hot, we're really dry, especially in Salt Lake. Now, we saw a few thunderstorms late last week, but it's still been 45 days since Salt Lake International has received any moisture over a trace. Same for Logan. Look at Cedar City. Storm yesterday brought some wet weather to Provo, and then on Friday, Tooele and St. George picked up some measurable precipitation. Not a ton of it, but it was something. We need to change that, and it looks like we will for the latter half of the work week. Another monsoon surge on the way, and that's going to increase moisture potential Thursday through your weekend. Forewarning you now, and let me show you the reason why. High pressure in control, and that's that Four Corners high. Its clockwise flow is going to drag that moisture into the state. We're underneath the ridge right now. That's why our temperatures are going to pop. Some moisture sneaks underneath the ridge, and with that monsoon moisture increasing, there we are into Wednesday. By Thursday, you're going to notice more cloud cover, and we could get some high-based thunderstorms, meaning gusty winds at the surface and some lightning. But as the moisture continues to funnel into the state, the high pressure over us, we're going to be hot, and then by Friday, some wetting thunderstorms. Yeah, we're going to see some rain coming through, and flash flood potential, forewarning you now, likely to rise. Futurecast showing quiet conditions to start our Tuesday, a little more cloud cover down south, a few pop-ups towards Wendover by Tuesday evening, and here we are into Wednesday. More cloud cover there. Models backing off of Wednesday. We'll see clouds with moisture potential, and we're going to be really hot along the Wasatch Front. Peak heating in the south is a little different than what's going to happen along the Wasatch Front. I'll show you on the 7-day. 90s for tomorrow. Salt Lake going for 100, 101. In Provo, the 100 Club has plenty of good members, especially in southern Utah. High 90s along the I-15 corridor with clear skies and sunshine. More cloud cover by the midweek. Zooming in, you're going to notice even Park City and Heber into the 90s. Tooele, mid-90s, knocking on the door of the century mark in Ogden. As we roll into central Utah, we're going to see a mix of mid to upper 90s. A few locations will hit the low 90s. If you want 80s in the south, you have to go to the top of Bryce Canyon, because look at those numbers. What a spread. It's going to be a hot one. As we look at the next 7 days in Washington County, you're going to notice those numbers really climbing. Peak heating for St. George will be Friday when isolated storms will be around. We start to see those on Thursday. We keep active skies in the forecast until early next week. So this monsoon push, well, it could flex its muscles a little bit. Record potential Tuesday and Wednesday. Slight chance with more cloud cover Thursday. You're going to notice isolated to scattered storms by the close of the work week and into the weekend. What's interesting is that moisture potential holds on. Temperatures get to seasonal numbers, but the threat of storms will be there into early next week. So a bit unsettled with the possibility of a storm for the weekend. Hot tomorrow. Triple digits.
Ooh, baby.
Nice.
Wow, yikes.
Yeah, yikes.
I thought everybody loves the heat, no?
Uh-huh.
Look, that's a complicated.
Yeah.
Bring back Craig.
We like it in December.